Hi, this is Ed Ballum. I'm from Cygnus Business Media, staff writer, and we're here in Dallas at 2010 Expo, and we have Dr. Bryan Bledsoe here today. Dr. Bledsoe is an emergency physician in Midlothian, Texas, and Las Vegas, Nevada. He began an EMS service in 1974 as an EMT and attended one of the first paramedic schools in northern Texas. Dr. Bledsoe, thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
You mentioned about getting people involved and changing things to make it career, make it more sustainable, maybe bringing some volunteers in there. Are there words of encouragement that you could perhaps give to people that are thinking about a career in EMS, and something inspiring to the extent that they would want to do this?
Well, I think it's really, honestly, a noble endeavor, a noble profession. I think paramedics and EMTs save lives. There's no doubt about it. I wouldn't be doing what I do if I didn't think that happened. EMS is the safety net of medical care in this country. We in the emergency department are actually a tier up. Certainly we take care of things that don't come in by ambulance, but it is a safety net. Right. And we need to get the government leaders to realize that. But I think, and it comes down to a chicken or the egg type argument. You know, which is going to come first, professionalism or education? This fighting of accreditation of paramedic programs and transitioning toward an associate's degree program is it's going to have to happen, as painful as it is. I mean, you don't see nurses with any, you know, at the least they have an associate's degree, and many have a four-year degree. And you know, so many times I hear paramedics see a nurse doing something in the emergency department. Well, I can do that. Well, yeah. They probably could, but you know, do you understand the pathophysiology behind that? Have you spent time working in the ICU, managing these drips and things? And there's an article in one of the magazines I wrote a couple of years ago, either EMS or GEMS, where I talked about that, and I got hammered, you know. But then I've had a couple emails since saying, "Hey, I went to nursing school," and you were right.
You're right.
You know, because I have that perspective from going to medical school. I mean, the first few years of medical school, being a paramedic offered no advantage. Other than I could work. I mean, absolutely no advantage. But when I got into the clinics, in the rotations, the clinical years, CHF, I've seen that many times. And it is the same. There's a lot of the fundamental information that has to be provided to establish a base as a profession. Right. You know, anatomy and physiology. You know, you can't, in our textbooks, we can't put enough anatomy and physiology to be competent. You think there's nursing text out there that has, you know, one chapter on anatomy and physiology, and that covers
flip
it?
Over your next.
You know, and pathophysiology and pharmacology and all these other things. I mean, we get hammered, you know, my publisher Brady, because our books are 5-volume and 2,300 pages. You know, well, that's just too much to read. I don't think so. You know, and we lose business to some of the smaller books, and our publisher is always under pressure to do lower level books. You know, I've always taken pride in the fact that myself and my co-authors have kind of pushed the edge of the envelope with the textbooks, but we've done it sometimes at the expense of sales. You know, well, Bledsoe's book is just too complicated. It has too high a reading level. That's just, you just have to bear with it.
Right. It's important stuff.
You're going to go into an environment where you're competing with people with you know, doctoral degrees or something. You need to be able to at least understand the basics. And for example, the state of Kansas requires associate degrees. And you can tell there's a difference. And they may not be necessarily better paramedics, but they're more balanced. I mean, they've got a better basis in understanding the pathophysiology.
They know the more complete picture.
Yeah. And again, I guess at the most fundamental level, if paramedics want to be paid like nurses, they're going to have to show equivalent education. You know, and the educators here are pushing that. The thing that's happened in the last 15 years that bodes well for this is we have a lot of EMS educators who have advanced degrees now, PhDs and master's degrees, EDD degrees, and so they're now taking people like myself who had no educational background teaching. They're now teaching sound methodological skills and practices. And I think that's a big part of it. But back to your original question, it is a good profession. And I think things are improving, just not fast enough to my satisfaction, and probably not to the satisfaction of a lot of the people watching this.
Well, certainly things like this help. When we talk about things, we have an idea, an exchange, I think it advances the profession a lot
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
So, but Dr. Bledsoe, thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.